All right,
Well
here's what
done.
we're going to make tonight. A three-tiered candy dish out of one piece of wood. That's the idea anyway. Um, the top part takes the longest to hog out, and this is all ingrained. It's a straight limb off of a tree, and we're going to do it the same way. So I started another one just in case this process starts taking too long. Then we're going to do the magic, pop the one off the lathe, and put the other one on that I've started already, which also is not complete, but it's further along. With that said, the chunk of wood that we're going to be using is a piece of elm, and it is very dry. So yes, I will have my respirator and my shield on tonight too. And let me. Okay, you guys can see that now.
Yes.
So we're gonna start off between centers. So we're just gonna make our 4+2 lines here. One, two, three, four. Create our little box. Add two more. Connect corner to corner. That's close enough for government work. One, two, three, four. Make a little box. Connect corner to corner. There's our points. I got a spur drive in the chuck, live center in the tailstock, using the trick I learned from Doug Miller and just sticking it in the chuck instead of in the spindle. That way I don't
Hey,
have to use the bar later.
Doug, Doug, what's the size of your log there?
Oh, let me grab the more than 12.
7 by 14.
Uh, we're like right at 12 inches long.
Okay.
And of course, we've got a really long side here because that's coming out to 8. But on the more round side, 6 3/4. 7 right there. Yeah, we're still pretty close to 7 right there. This side's a lot more round than the other side is. Um, we could drill out a hole for the spur drive to fit in there. For me, it's a 1 1/8 Forstner bit, but I'm not going to be between centers that long, just long enough to make a tenon. So I'm not going to go that far. All right, and then I'm going to bring you guys on this side because I think you'll see more of the making it round.
Yeah, it works good.
That angle look all right for you? Okay. So this is pretty complicated stuff right here. We're going to take a non-round object and make it round. I guess we've all done that a time or two. And let me cover up the face and we'll get going. I'm going to start off with a roughing gouge.
The RPM is at 706 for anybody that cares about that stuff.
Use a roughing gouge like that when you want to make short work of roughing.
All right, we got just a little bit more round. All right, now we just got a round log here. And I'm gonna square up this side a little bit better, and I'm gonna change over to bull gouge.
Okay. Hey, Doug. Hey, Doug.
All right,
Hey,
that just got
Doug.
out of my way so I can see it a little better. And then I'm just gonna do the same thing to this side.
Hey,
And just,
Doug. You may need to adjust your tool rest height.
Yeah. Okay, and now I'm just gonna make a tenon on this side real quick. Okay, just a little closer. And I have my 5-inch jaws on this one, so to save us a little time. I think that's what I'll do. I use this chuck instead, that way I don't have to go as small. Yeah, let's do that. All right, get that a little bit better. A little more better. All right, I think my 5-inch jaws will grab that. Let's take a look and see. I think. Oh no, did I go too small?
You got plenty of room to come down with the new one.
Yeah, I thought that was gonna be too big. I eyeballed that totally wrong. We can fix it.
Hey, Doug, what kind of wood was that?
Elm,
Elm, that's what I thought.
really common wood in my parts. I can't believe I did that. I really thought I didn't make it. I thought I made it too big. I guess I'm used to using the smaller jaws too much.
Well, if that's the only demoitis you have, it's best to get it out of the way right now on a pesky little tendon.
And measure, don't eyeball the next one.
I made that bigger one. Let me get the smaller stuff out of the way. We're almost there. Okay, I didn't realize we were gonna have a whole demo on how long can it take Doug to make a tenon. What else?
Nothing wrong with that. But you're probably going to have to clean up the stuff
Yeah.
there in the center.
Yeah, there, just a second. Oh, of course, it's just not gonna fit. All right.
There you go.
Okay, now this will give everybody a good laugh as I go to take my chuck off. Because the little spanner wrench or whatever you call it to take it
Yeah.
off is stripped out on me. So we'll fix that situation. Where the pipes are at? Sorry, I put my screwdriver away too.
After the demo, we'll tell you another way to do that.
What's that? Take out the chuck off?
Yeah.
Yeah, the little holes in there just got
Right.
all too rounded out. with my one way, it's kind of nice because I just use the tool. It's big enough to grab it.
Got plenty of time. Don't feel rushed.
Okay.
Take your time. You got the demo jitters out of the way. Now it's all about turning.
Okay, I'm gonna take this off so I can talk for a minute. And kind of
Explain what we're doing here. So now I gotta kind of lay out where I want all the bowls to be. And let's see, if I go, now you guys can see that side a little bit straighter,
Yeah.
right?
Perfect.
So
Perfect.
obviously that's all waste. We don't care about it. And I definitely don't want to use that for any type of measurement. I want to measure off this line right here. And I got to figure out how much room do I have to work with. About 10.5 inches to include taking the tenon off the bottom and all of that. At 10.5, that's got to be my no nonsense bottom right there. I can't go below that. And so at that point, now I just got to lay it out and decide how thick do I want the bowls and how much room do I want in between each bowl. The bowls seem to look pretty nice if they're about 2 inches or so. And I just dropped my demo piece over here. There we go. So, but I mean, they can be whatever size you want each of the bowls to be. What I found doing quite a few of these is obviously the further apart they are, the easier it's going to be to hog out the next one. When they get too close, it gets real tight trying to get that tool in there. And so I'm going to show you a couple of different ways to kind of get in there tonight, depending on what tools you have. But so with that said, that's our bowl. We went 2 inches and then 3 inches. Yeah, so that would be waste wood right there. That would be the top of the next one. So 2 inches. And then 3. That's not going to give me a big enough bowl. I guess I should have did the quick math. That's why I teach social studies and not math. Where's Duxbury? Is he on here? Hey, what's my spacing that needs to be? Let's go 1.5 and see how that lays out. It's 1.5 and then. Yeah, that's gonna be pretty tight too. I should have started off with a bigger piece.
Yeah, just scale it down. You'll be fine.
I mean, we could just do a 2 bowler tonight just to make it a little quicker, but no, we said we're gonna do 3. We're gonna do 3.
Yeah, going to hold you to 3. Just make the top one smaller.
Yeah. Yeah, those ones will work out. Quite get the flat spot all the way out right there. So with that said, okay, so this will be a bowl, waste wood, bowl, waste wood, and a bowl. Since our tenon's already on this side, we're just gonna make this the bottom. So I'm gonna have to round this out a little bit more to get rid of this flat spot, because the last bowl needs to be the biggest bowl, and then that kind of sets the size of the bowls all the way down. I throw all this stuff back on.
What do you figure that diameter is now? 6 inches?
Here, you know what? I think I got a cloth paper on here somewhere. I don't know where my cloth tape is, so let's do it this way. Whoops. I just sorted that tape. Let me try that again.
Close
I'll
enough.
tape in half, and then I'll tell you.
I mean,
It's that big around.
tell me the length of it, and I'll tell you the diameter. So you're at 12. What is that? 14,
Yeah.
15 inches?
Come here, little tape. $16. So probably about 8.
About 5 inches.
Yeah,
Just over 5 inches.
just over 5. All right. Let me cover my face up again. Let's see. I'm gonna lower the tripod and see if it gives you guys a better straight on view of. Is that any better?
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm gonna put these lines in so I don't lose them. And then, like I said, there's a big flat spot right here still, so I gotta get that out first. Bull gouge again. A little bit more, not much. Okay, so that'll be the bottom bowl. So this one's got to be smaller, and that one's got to be even smaller than that. And so now we just kind of start turning this wood away, get rid of a lot of material here. We don't got to make anything pretty at this point. Okay, so now we kind of see our three bowls. So now I went on to make this one a little smaller than that one. Switching bowl gouges, not because that one's dull yet, it's just hot. Okay, so I can see a significant height difference in those. We can always make it smaller later if we want to.
Hey,
Let's
Doug,
shrink this
you
one
need to
down
adjust.
with smaller
Doug,
than that one. Is there a question?
Doug,
Yeah.
yes. Do you need to adjust your tool rest height for your bowl gouge?
Yeah. I'm okay for right now till this gets a little smaller.
Okay.
So, and if there's anybody that doesn't understand what Dave and I are talking about, most of the time with a bull gouge, you want to be cutting right at about center, right? And so I'm a little bit higher than that. But for rough spindle turning, that's just where I like it. I can move a lot of material faster and not worry about a catch as much. But then as it shrinks down, I'll
Exactly.
have to bring my tool rest down. But I don't know. Can you guys see that? I'm pretty far above center right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
You said the magic word, less chance of a violent catch.
That's hot. Okay, so it all looks really ugly right now, but there's one bowl, two bowl, three bowls. All that goes away till we turn it down to a little spindle. It goes away till we turn it into a little spindle. To save us a little time, I'm
You
going
got
to,
plenty of time. You only been turning for 30 minutes.
Well, I'll leave it up to you guys. You can watch me take away this waste wood and form the bowls, or I can throw another one on here where it's not all the way done, but further along than this one.
Let's take away some of the waste of wood and then form the bowl and then switch it out
Okay.
to the other.
Because the one that
That'll
takes
work.
the longest to hog out is this one. And of course, that's because of the pressure, right? We're turning end grain and we're pretty far off the tailstock. The other one I've already done that on. So you won't have that takes me like almost an hour just to do that bowl. But yeah, we can form the bowl and take this away real quick.
Okay.
Well, not real quick, but unless I
We've got
start
plenty
getting
of
blisters
time.
on my hands.
You got plenty of time, Doug.
Alrighty. Are there any questions while I'm putting this back on my face?
No, not
Okay.
at the moment. Thank you.
You guys probably can't even see the tool cutting though right there, can you?
Yeah, we can sit.
You can, okay, I was gonna say, cause I can throw the camera on the other side of the lathe maybe and see. But anyways, I'm just taking a gentle slice to start sloping the bowl around now. And so, kind of like if you made goblets and stuff, you can't take the stem down until you have the bowl hogged down. Otherwise, it's going to be too weak and it'll just snap on you. So I'm going to leave quite a
Weird.
bit of material here initially. Move you guys down just a little bit. Good, old ways. Kind of looks like a really ugly chess piece right now.
So you got the profiles laid out for the diameters for the three bowls.
Yep.
So what the next step would be to hog out
Next step, I would leave this thick just to give me my
right,
stability, and then I'd start hogging out this first bowl. And if you have a steady rest, you could make this smoother. Right now, these are super rough cuts, so a steady rest would just bounce too much. But I could make that smooth and then put a steady rest on there to help me hold it a little better. But I've made plenty of them without the steady rest, and I was kind of hoping to do that tonight. Just use as limited tools as possible because not everybody has everything.
right. You can still
But
leave the tailstock in there to while you're hogging out the
right, get as much as
bowls.
you
So
can. Or most of the time, I'll use the Forstner bit to take out a little bit of the center first, and then work the cross grain out, and then kind of get down in there. All right, let me pop this bad boy off, and then whoops, gonna have to put my other chuck on because my other one has a different size tenon on it. Hey, you put the chuck on this way, it fits better.
amazing how that works. Seemed like that in the southern hemisphere.
All right.
Then after you chuck that up, you probably need to go sharpen your tools, huh?
Yeah, and I'm probably gonna have to true this up a little bit too.
Did you mark your tenon location when you took it off?
I pulled this off last Wednesday to when after hours when I made that first cross. And when I pulled it off, I said, "Oh, I should have marked that first." It's really dry, so I know it didn't move that much, but probably moved a little. Yeah, a little. So we'll set this big chunk aside. And I need to fix my footing here because I'm kind of up in shavings. All these shavings and we haven't even made anything yet.
What? All those shavings and you haven't made anything yet. Got it. Got it.
What's that?
You said all those shavings and you haven't made anything yet.
Nope. All right. And I don't want this live center in there. So because I've already turned that bowl, I don't want to stick a live center and put a hole in there again. So I just have one that doesn't have the spike in it. And then this is just a little cut off of a piece of mat,
Yoga mat.
mats. And I just, stick it in there like so. Uh-oh. Hold on.
Hey, Doug.
Yeah.
Hey, Doug, you stand corrected. Billy says you have made something. You've made a mess.
Oh, okay. Something like that. Okay.
Are you going to go sharpen?
Gonna be a minute before I can hear you. My air compressor just kicked on.
I'm gonna go sharpen these real quick.
Yay. Now I can stop asking. Ain't that right, Billy?
Zachary.
He's not going to touch the top bowl. He'll probably clean up that center shaft, touch up the outside profile of the middle bowl. Maybe do a little bit on the inside of the middle bowl, but he won't be touching the top bowl.
That's 2 times in a row I heard you say he won't be touching the pot bowl.
I can't help the accent.
Okay. All right, so we're just gonna true this up a little bit to get that wobble out of it.
Oh no. You're not gonna touch that top bowl, are you?
Yeah, we're gonna try. Worst
Oh,
case, it snaps and you guys get a cool show.
check your tool rest height with your gouge.
Yeah.
You know I'm conscious of that with you.
I still got a lot of material there. There's no cracking in there, so hopefully it holds.
Please be careful, Doug. It doesn't look true anymore up there.
No, it's definitely not. That's why I'm saying I need to fix it.
It's gonna explode, Doug.
It's not gonna explode.
Just
And if it
just
does,
go slow at first. Just go.
I don't know. I'd be tempted to go fast,
I'd
but hey,
be,
what do
yeah,
I know?
I'd be going fast.
Sometimes
very light
something out of
cuts.
sometimes
Very
something
light
out of
cuts.
whack looks cool anyway, Doug.
yeah, I gotta take it out. It was a little bit more than I thought it was. Plus, it would take them forever to get another one of these this far along to get it ready for you guys.
Good choice.
They actually might be able to true it back up once I sand it anyway. Maybe not completely, but closer than it is. Okay, that was a little bit more balanced out. Okay, it's taking a lot less now. All right, so I'll take this off so I can
Talk us through it again. So I don't know if we've got anybody on here that hasn't made a goblet. That's like kind of an early thing that people make when they first start wood turning. So I'm hoping most of you have, or all of you have. But so essentially, this whole part gets turned just like a goblet. You get your general shape, but before your stem gets too thin, you got to hog that all out. Otherwise, this gets too shaky and you just break the stem off. So what I had done was once I had my general shape, then I used my Jacob's chuck with a Forstner bit and took out the center, and then just gently kept opening this up, opening it up until I got to where I wanted it to be. Then I bring the stem down a little bit, and on this one I got to start working in this way and this way, and then of course the stem's going to get in my way. So then as I bring the stem down, then I have to bring the stem back up to match. And this is where it's got to be a real soft touch, so I don't break that stem, but yet get it small enough to where we can open up this second tier, and then it'll be the same thing on the third. So right now, the second tier is not as deep as we'd like it to be. It can be a little bit deeper. Where, let's see if I bring you this way. We're not quite to where it starts making the curve down, and that's where I'd really like it to be. And then that gives me plenty of room once I start shaping the bottom of the bowl. I've made the mistake of taking the second tier too deep, and then I started shaping the bottom of the bowl, and I turned a funnel from the other end. Instead of going through it, I created a funnel by going through, and then the whole thing came apart. So, got to leave a little material there to play with. Okay, so then what tool to get down in there? So your bowl gouge as far as it'll take you. And then I like the round carbide tools. And then so this is what I turned. Let me see if we back up a little bit. That's what I turned most of it with. And then I have a different attachment. That just, this one comes out, that one slides in, just to give me a little bit better angle.
Okay.
So any questions about that so far? I think it's all pretty straightforward.
Are you going to show how to do it?
Yeah. So I've already turned it as far as I can with this one, so I'm gonna have to switch out now. I mean, I guess I can stick it in there and show you, but there's not a very good angle left anymore. Let me go ahead and cover my face back up.
Doing a good job, Doug. Be
Well, thank
mindful of your be mindful of your tool rest height.
you. Okay. So let's see. I'm not staring at my shoulder. Can you guys see in there all right now?
Yes.
As best you can. So as you can see, I'm I'm at a bad angle now. So I've pretty much gone about as far as I can go with a straight tool. Oh, this is really wobbly right there too.
It's only wobbly when it turns slow. I'll get him to move his tripod when he quits here.
And then I've got to move you guys to the other side, otherwise you're just gonna stare at the back of my
Yep,
head.
that's what I was getting ready to say.
Yeah.
Throw it on the back side of the lathe. Little closer and to the side. Right there. Oh, yep, right there.
We got to get you off
Yep,
the pads and everything. Okay, now tell me when.
that's good.
Okay.
Should be.
Okay, so I'm just gonna try and straighten that stem out a little bit more now. And then just like a goblet, this is where if you wanted to leave enough material, then you could put like a little captive ring in there or some sort of decorative little doodad as you transition from your bowl down. But right now we're just gonna straighten it out. Keep it boring, but get it done. All right, that's about as far as I'm gonna push my luck with that. And then I'll put the gooseneck on here and take this down just a little bit deeper and show you how that works. And I don't know if is Matt Harbor on?
Of course he is.
He's always good at finding our stuff and putting it in the chat. But I got these off Amazon. That's the Define, I guess, and it's a kit, and so it comes with the little case, and then it comes with a straight square, straight circle, gooseneck circle, and a straight diamond. And it's with one of their cheaper sets, carbide sets. I don't remember exactly how much I paid for it, but
I got it, Doug.
see, told you he's so good at that. And then The bowl gouges that I was using, one is the Hurricane, and it is their, what's the different seals, M4 and M2? So that's the Hurricane 5/8 bowl gouge is what I was using off Amazon. And then this one is my expensive one. That is the Carter and Sons.
M42.
Yeah, M42. That's what I was trying to say. So this is the, because Hurricane makes both, with the higher end steel, and the lower end steel. So this one is their higher end steel. And I got to tell you, I've been really, really pleased with this bowl gouge. The big difference between this one and my Carter and Son is the Carter and Son just holds the edge longer. But other than that, they're super similar.
All right. So we've got that set up. Let me rearrange the tool rest again. Do something about like that. And then shine some light on the subject. And then I'm gonna see if I can raise you guys up and have you look down in there. I can remember how this does that. There it is. Can you see the top of the tool rest yet? Whoops.
Yes, ish.
That'll be a way to get you guys a little closer. Now can you see in there a little better?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, about like that, so I'm gonna be cutting. Yeah. And of course, I can't see the tool cutting here, so I have to watch the line crawl up on the other side. But that's about how that tool works. So now we'll do all of this right here so you guys can see a full one get made. So that will bring it back to this side. There's two colors in. And so I think now you can see like the more space you give yourself between the bowls, the more of an angle you can get in there. So I'm gonna put you guys on the other side just so I get a little bit more out without having you stare at my shoulder. So you'll see the material go away right here.
Kristen's gonna come by.
Hmm?
Kristen's gonna come by, she needs some advice.
That's about as far as I get with my bow down. So since we've already got this one on there.
Hey, Doug,
Yeah,
right there on top, is that a crack? Oh, right there, is that a crack?
yes,
Be careful.
yeah. It goes the whole way.
It's normal for our wood out here.
It's all right. It's just a crack that runs all the way through.
Yeah. Yeah, it survived the first segment, so should work down there, right?
Just say no to crack. Nancy Reagan.
Yeah, it doesn't go all the way through to the other side. We're safe.
Not yet. You guys aren't seeing any of that. Hold on, let me see if I can move my dust collector out of the way and reposition the camera better.
Yeah, you don't need no darn dust collection.
There, now you can at least see the stuff that I'm working on anyway. Got tons of room in them. All right, if it wasn't a demo, I'd go a lot thinner, but it'll break if we do, so let's go and just finish up this bowl.
So Doug, for that crack, would you seal that with some CA
Yeah, and then
normally?
the other thing that I've done when I've got these cracks like this, I'll seal them with the CA, take it a little lower, and then just for extra insurance while I'm working on this stuff, I'll wrap the post in electrical tape just to give me a little bit more insurance. I don't know if it makes a difference, but it makes me feel like it does.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, it would give it a little bit more stability.
And that's about it. It's just, we can always make it thinner and deeper, thinner and deeper. And then, I can part it off right now, but then I wouldn't be able to go back and sand it all up and everything. But if you guys
Right.
want to see me part it off, I don't care. I have enough of these.
Would you guys rather see me part it off or just leave it?
Well, you want to rework it, right? Without the stresses of being on camera.
Well, yeah, because we don't want to stand here and watch me sand everything tonight.
Nah.
But yeah, so essentially it just gets parted off here, and then it's just like the other one that I had wherever I put it down. So then once we part it off, then boop, and it would be just like that. These ones just have deeper bowls on them.
Right.
I would seal it up right now. I wouldn't mess with it. You did a lot of work in it. That's my 2 cents.
Leave your tenon on it, that way you can rework it off camera.
Right.
Without the stresses of
Yeah.
being on camera.
Do you
Well,
make
Mark
that?
Jaw one.
So one at a time, there's questions. So
Okay. Let me get my hairdo up. All right.
there you go. Yep. Fix your hair.
Gotta look good for the camera.
Hey,
All right.
Doug,
Yeah.
so the question I have is on your second bowl, wouldn't it be better to shape the outside of the second bowl before hollowing the inside? That way you have the correct diameter and everything without risking going through the center and the bottom?
I would agree, yes. And but it always seems like after I've hogged it out and then I start coming around, then I realize, oh, I left more material than I needed to, and then I wind up reshaping it again. As long as you're not touching the sides of it too much. Where I was reshaping that one, it's because there was a lot of material on the bottom.
Okay. Yeah.
But otherwise, that I would agree. Once you've hogged it out too much, if you start messing with the sides, then that's where bad things can happen, which is what everybody was so stressing about if I was going to touch this one, because this one is hogged all the way down. You know, because there's not a lot of material there. And it's, yeah. So I probably would have blew that one up if I'd have touched the sides.
How big around are your stems?
So these ones are pretty thick, and again, it's because these are tree limbs, so it's got the pith in it. And so this one, I'll see if I can find where I filled in the cracks on this one. I filled them in right here. I don't know how well you guys will see that. That was all cracked right there, and that's all filled back in. So if it was a regular, I don't know if regular wood is the right word, but not the pith, right? Then you could get them a lot thinner.
So how dry is your wood?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I don't have a moisture meter handy, but this tree was died many years ago and had been laying in somebody's backyard for many years. So it's I mean, if I just
2%.
What's that?
It's probably 2%.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
It's dry.
There is no moisture in this wood at all. It burns the heck out of my hands when I get too close to it. Anything else?
How well do these things sell?
When I do the art shows with my local wood turning club, I've sold all of them that I've taken there. And every time I make one live on Facebook or TikTok, somebody's asking, how much can I buy it? Can I buy it? So I guess, and I don't think that they're anything super special. It's just they're not as common as just bowls. You know, when I go to the art shows with my wood turning club, most everybody's making bowls, or they get a little fancier with the lidded pots and things like that. But then this sitting there next to 10 bowls, I think it just catches their eye.
Right.
Certainly does. Certainly does. Doug, that was very enjoyable all night. It was a great night. Thank you.
Great demo,
Great
Doug.
demo.
Thanks.